Welcome to today's study session, everyone. We are going to continue our study on range interaction, and we're going to look at the big blind defending against the cutoff on some high card boards. So this is going to feature cards 9 with at least one card 9 plus on all flops. But before we get into it, just a congratulations to our friend and regular study session member, Said. Took down a pretty healthy score on Sunday. First place in 2,700 runners for 2,200 bucks plus booties on top of this. So big congratulations, and continue coming to study sessions because it's paying off.
Thank you.
Selfless, shameless plug for myself. All right. So let's look at some stuff today. We're going to call here. See a flop. We are going to check. And now we're going to kind of study this spot. All right. So we're going to get to a flop and we are going to face a flop bet a lot. So we're going to do a little bit of looking at the theory of check raise sizing, because we can see we're kind of offered two options here at 40 big blinds. We're offered this check raise size to kind of, 2 and a bit X here type of thing. And we have a larger option. And how do we know what size to use and when we're going to use it? And so we're going to investigate that a little bit today. So in here,
maybe paired boards, we pick the small one.
so let's take a look at some theory stuff. We can see that we are mixing sizes on this board, but we're going to try and figure out if there's a general strategy for how we're going to pick which sizes we use. We're also going to investigate all the different bet sizes that the cutoff is going to use and how we're going to respond to that with these two sizings. So our reports on flops. And so here we go. So one thing we note, this isn't so clear here, but we can see a little bit of polarization on a paired ace board with another Broadway card, and then not a lot of polarization on paired ace with a low card. And that's going to be a pattern that's going to repeat itself a lot. So we see here ace with king, king, ace, queen, ace, jack, ace, king with a 10, right? All of these with two Broadway cards. When we are check raising, except for monotone boards, we are using a lot of the big sizing. This is a very polar spot. If you want to check raise on an ace, king board, it's big. Ace, queen, we see the exact type of same thing. A lot of check raising, and when it is check raising, it's check raising big. Ace 10, ace jack, it's all check raising big. As we start to change from an ace with a Broadway to an ace with a mid card, the structure of our check raise size starts to change. We see more of a mixed strategy, and as it gets lower and lower, we see more of a small bet strategy, only having polar components on paired boards. The king board is going to have a similar type of idea here. When it is a paired king board with another Broadway, we see a little bit of polar betting, and then paired king board with a small card is just non-polar betting. The king with a queen, king with a jack, king with a 10, we're going to see a lot of the pink, the larger sizing. And then once we get to king 8, now we start seeing the smaller sizing. So it was kind of ace to 10 or ace to 9. Now it's king to 8. So kind of once the top end straight can't really flop or connect right away, we start to check raise to a smaller sizing more and more frequently. This continues throughout the queens. We are check raising down to queen 8, a little more polar, because again, there's connection in the 9-10 jack area. And then once we get down to queen 7, where we're kind of out of the flopped straight on the top end, where they're going to have nut advantage, we start check raising to a smaller size more and more frequently. Jack 10 boards, right? So again, we see some polar components. We even see some stuffalophaguses. So hard to find, but yeah, you're just going to rip like 38 blinds on Jack 10 with a flush draw boards sometimes, as crazy as that is. We can investigate that specific board and take a look at why we're doing that a little bit later and what combos we're doing it with. But again, the idea kind of once we start getting away from the flopped straight boards, we start getting some check raise size that is a little less polar. The 10 high boards are pretty much polar throughout, right? We have a little bit of the smaller size, but 10s is going to be a board. If we check raise, we're going to need protection a lot. So it's going to be a bigger sizing. And the same idea with these 9 boards. When we check raise, we're going to need protection. So it's going to be a lot of big sizing, right? This is going to interact with the bottom of their range. They're going to have lots of 2 over card hands. So these 10s and 9s, again, become a primarily polar sizing part. And then as we start to move away from what they're going to have range connection with, we start moving to where we have better range connection, and we're just going to check raise small throughout. Now, let's take a look at the cutoff and their different options. So when the cutoff bets 1.2, the smaller size, our big blind response, we're going to go back over here, is going to be pretty heavily mixed. But against this really small size, 1.2 chips, we're going to make it 6 a lot. We're going to make it 4 sometimes. So we have some pretty big ratio bets here when we check raise, 6x and 4x functionally. As our opponent polarizes their hand more and more against the 2 big blind bet, we still have a 4x, but it's not a 6x anymore. And our smaller size becomes 2.5x. As they continue to use bigger and bigger sizes, we're now going to see that we have a 2.5x is our big size, 3x, and almost a click back as our small size. And when they are polar to the max, we just have a click back. They bet 5, we bet 10. And so this is a 40 big blind stack depth thing. As we move up blinds and we take a look at 100 big blinds, our opponent is going to use a 2 big blind size. We are going to have some raises to 5x, to 3x, right? And a little bit of click back. So we're going to have more variety in our raise size. But as they become more and more polar, we are going to become more and more frequent in our click back size. They go 4, we're going kind of 4x, and then a little bit of 2.5x. When they go pot, we start to lose our big size and we start to really reduce our check back or our check raise range entirely. So this is now down to 3x, right? This is 2 and a bit x. And versus over bets, it's just kind of wanting to click back. right? We don't get very much here. So as you can see, the more polar our opponent's size chooses, the smaller our raise gets. Now, when we go down to like 20 big blinds, we're going to see this type of thing as well. Cutoff is going to be betting super small lot, which is good. Our response to that, again, we have big bets, 5, 6x, and small bets, kind of like a 3x, as they choose a larger and larger size, representing a bigger and bigger ratio of their stack. Our big check raise starts to drop out. And even here, 2.75, we're doing little more than a click back. So as we get shallow, when we choose to raise against the 4 sizing, it is literally just a click back. So kind of at 40 is kind of where we start to separate our check raise range into small sizes and big sizes. Below that, there's much more of a mergy idea size, and it's a lot smaller than people tend to check raise. But again, people tend to find the value check raises, and so they want to check raise big and they want to get the money in, and you want to include bluffs in your range. And when you check raise bluff, if people are overfolding, the check raise small is efficient. So we'll head on up to 40 and we will do some work, and we'll see how this check raise size comes in on some different board textures. So without further ado, do we want to check raise this hand? And if so, what size?
Seems
I think we
okay.
get some check raises with this.
7.5.
If we do, I think 7.5.
Okay.
But we already saw that our range is splitting.
Yeah.
Splitting here, and we can see both are very viable options, primarily calling with this hand, but if we get splashy, this is pretty reasonable. We check raise and he calls. We get this brick of a turn.
I think we largely check now.
So here's a tough decision point.
Yeah,
What
this is
makes
now
us
tough.
what makes us want to continue the story, and what makes us want to check back?
Well, so we used the large size, right?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
So we used the large size,
Mhm.
which points towards a give up. And in addition, this board, I think if we compared range equity on flop, this board favors cutoff.
For sure it is. King high board, gonna be good for them.
So I think those two reasons are why we give up if we take a low frequency check raise.
So when we take a look here, our queen 9 is not going to be coming in very much, right? We can see it continues the story. Queen 9 without a spade, queen 9 with a spade, pure check back here, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when we take a look at this, often I've kind of used the heuristic for myself of when you pick up equity, additional equity, you continue the story, right? So, I'm going to have some threes that continue this story, right? With the straight blockers, we're going to continue this story, right? We're going to continue this story with 5-6, right? When we get here, right? 6-7-5. I'm going to continue this story, right? Which picks up equity. So as your equity share starts to improve, you can kind of continue this story pretty liberally. But this hand just got no more equity. And so it is time to give up the story. Check, check. make a queen on the river.
I wonder if we get some blocker sizing here.
I was about
Yeah, I
to
would
say
bet,
block.
I would bet too.
I bet 4.5 doesn't exist.
But yeah, I think it's either check or blocker.
If we hadn't bet so big on the flop, I would be inclined to go for value here. But when we bet
Yeah, I
that
think
big,
checking.
we check raise this big on this flop, like he's containing a lot of kings that are playing cautiously now.
Good point.
So I think I'm probably going to check this back. I'm I might go for, I guess maybe actually this one could, but like I was thinking Queen Jack blocking the straight. I might go for it. Queen 9 also blocks the straight a little bit here. So maybe this one is a go. So we'll see. Just to check back.
You
If
can
a
have another
pretty-
queen check.
Oh. Have we pigeonholed ourselves into a call here? Having the spade is bad. Having the 9 is bad.
Yeah.
Hmm,
We had a heavy filter,
Fold.
heavily
I don't
filtering
know.
check raise. I think
Yeah, I
we'd
think
largely fold to this
uh,
side.
Was the action here? We check
Fold.
raise flop?
Yeah,
We check raised big on the flop and then check turn, and he is value betting us on the river, and we can see it's a fold spot. Right? Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. 10-9. Primarily a call, occasionally a 3-bet. All right. Connected. Flopped straight possibilities. Flush draw. This
Check raise
board is
big.
rife. Check. He gives us the 1.2.
Yeah, I would guess this is largely a check raise.
5.9.
Okay. Do we need a spade to check raise here? Is this strong enough to check raise?
Is there a, do we benefit from protection by check raising?
We definitely benefit from protection.
Yeah.
I'm check raising this like 60% of the time.
So then, yeah, I think it's big size here.
Mhm.
And so our study, like we can see from our study, right, there is a correct sizing here, and it is choosing this sizing. So it's the nature of that 10 with a flush draw board. Remember, all our 10s and 9s, when we check raise, we're going to want to use the big sizing here. We use the big sizing, get a call, get an overcard, particularly bad one. He's going to have a lot of interaction with this card against our check raise.
If it was a rainbow, what would be still I think the same size, right?
Yep. Yep, we're driven by the connected nature of this board.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So did our hand improve equity?
No,
So do we continue telling the story, or do we check back?
I think this is a check call.
it's a
Okay.
check or a small bet.
I think
I think I like check. I don't know.
Yeah.
I-
After
I
that
like-
big polarized check raise.
I mean, we have marginal equity with the draw to the straight. I think this is a check call.
I
Again, it does continue to tell the story a little bit, but when you do, you have to use the big size again because you check raise big. But lots of checking here is just fine. It is the higher EV option of the two. We face a bet, and we have a hand that can clearly call one streets. Oh, lovely river.
Hmm.
All right. I don't think there's any leads here. Oh, brother. Is it time to give up the ship?
Yeah, I think this is a fold.
What do
Surely.
we need?
gross run out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We'd be
snap fold. Yeah.
pocket sixes.
King jack.
Yeah,
Is
easy fold. Right?
oof.
Queen eight.
Is he like range jamming this river?
Probably. Right? I mean, he might check back when he makes an ace.
I think I'm like range jamming in his spot.
Yeah. Yeah, he checks back when he makes a single ace. But like everything else jams. Right? He has some single queens that check too.
And pocket nines double blocking check raises.
Yeah. So yeah, like you know, 70% of range is just jamming here. So this run out is just too good for him. And you can see all across the board, there's no negative EV spots. Everything is really highly positive for him. So yeah, that's really good. Well, really bad for us, but really good for him.
Hmm.
All right. Ace eight. Is this a 3-bet and at what frequency for you guys?
Um, it might be there a little bit. I think it's a
Uh,
little high up and
Versus the
kicker.
cutoff, this is like 90% for me.
Oh.
Nick, you're a savage animal, but I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a mix. I think we can do either.
Yeah.
This is the combo I 3-bet the most.
Yeah,
I'd rather
probably.
use like a 6 or 7.
Yeah. So we've done a lot of 3-bet work, so we're gonna take a call line here so we can work on our check raises. But yeah,
Yeah,
this is
so
like you're gonna want to do it a lot.
if you look
So
at the range, I think this is the one we do the most because you're against the cutoff specifically. So he's opening offsuit nine, so we're gonna attack that with ace
Yeah.
eight off.
yeah. So 5, 6, 7 against the button. 6, 7, 8 against the cutoff is what we're gonna, is kind of the easy heuristic. And then you can work on your kings that are going to be just around there and queens and jacks that are all around there attacking with all of this offsuit garbage. But today we're going to make Nick play the call line so we can work on our check raises. Yeah. So from that range construction, can't help myself but think about, look at these 3 bets that I want to do, right? So 6, 7, 8, and then the kings are going to be there, the queens and the jacks and the tens. And I mean, finding these 3-bet bluffs is just going to print you money.
Hey, Peter, can you move the screen a little bit, or the browser a little bit to the right? We're just missing
Sure.
the left side of it.
Is
It's
that
doing
good?
my OCD and a little bit more, please, sir.
Sure.
What are
Is
you
that
not seeing on your screen? I see it all.
Maybe it's my screen.
Yeah,
Oh, it's me.
It's on your
Sorry,
side.
guys.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Always happy to please everyone who's got a little bit of a quirkiness. Yeah, Jack 7 suited. Good one, Dean. Okay, so let's play the call line here so we can work on our check raises with this improbable holding for us today. All right. Check.
You wanna raise?
Well,
Go
I don't
ahead.
think this is a call.
Let's work on the check raise with that one.
Yeah. Everybody finding the pot bet with the double deck of bus. I don't know about that. All right, Jack 9. Easy call, occasional raise. As we saw, we're raising some nines. King 6, 6. This is a board that begs us to check raise. Is this a hand that wants to check raise? Oh, against this
No.
disrespectful size. Ooh.
I can't think of too many worse hands that I'd want to check raise
All right.
than Jack 9.
Yeah, this is just an easy fold. Queen 3. Okay. Whoops. Out of there. Ace 3. All right. Oh,
Can I
here
ask
we
you a
go.
quick question?
Sure, shoot, Reiner.
We've just been going fast, but on Jack 9 versus King 6, 6, is it okay or better to check raise with like Jack 5 or Jack 7? Because the 5,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
because Because we have like we're blocking 7, 6, 7, 5, 6.
Sure. So we'll study
I don't
that
think
quickly.
I don't think you wanna use any jack, really.
Oh, okay. The jack is too disconnected.
Yeah, you wanna
I
have some
think you
sort
can
of draw,
float
like
queen jack.
just backdoor flush draws, backdoor straight draws. You just need something rather than a pure bluff.
All
Like
right.
seven, eight
So
of spades.
so because we have a lot of value hands, we have a lot of sixes defending the big blind, we're gonna have a lot of bluffs. So how do we kind of construct our bluffing range here? We also have some kings here as well too. They're gonna check raise at some frequency, although not very often because we have so many sixes that are check raising. So our logical bluffs are gonna come from hands that can make the straights that are situated around the six. So 8-7, 9-7, 10-7, right? 10-8, 9-8, all of these offsuit ones here. 8-7 that's down here. And then on the other side, 5-4 is down here, 5-4, 5-3, 7-3. And if you take a look at these type of ones, particularly the ones that are underneath, you can see that it's the three combos that have the backdoor flush that really want to have a party.
Right, okay.
5-4 here, I mean, it's mixing some folds and only continuing with pure with ones that kind of have two blockers, particularly a spade blocker here. So, and then on the top end of it, like 87, all four combos are getting in here, right? And clubs just float a little bit, but all the ones that have the ability to pick up equity with a backdoor flush want to check raise. Clubs just wants to call a little more because it doesn't have the ability to barrel turn as often because it can't pick up the backdoor flush. So,
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
my question stemmed from just one comment. Like, I can't think of a hand worse than Jack 9 to bluff here. And I was like, oh, well, so I want to explore, like, are there hands that are actually worse, or are there
Yep.
hands that we can find? But it definitely makes sense now, especially looking at this, that there's not a lot of jacks to do with, except maybe Jack 10 suited. But
Yeah. And then you can see there's a little bit of bluffing from these wheels here, right? Which could pick up some straight equity. They get better ace highs to fold. They have an overcard to the king, right? But these are pretty thin bluffs here too, right? So
Also, if you think about the cards you want him to be holding that will just like auto fold to a raise, a jack and a nine seem like pretty good ones for him to have.
for sure, yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes sense too. Okay. Thanks for that, everyone.
no problem. Good insight, Ryder. So ace three on jack, jack, deuce, deuce. I mean, get ready because we're clicking a lot of buttons here. Oh, disrespectful size.
So now here's a situation where we can check raise because we have more twos, and the ace and the three are both like situated around the deuce.
Do we have a deuce?
I
Oh
would
yeah,
agree with that.
meaning the big. We have lots of deuces.
Yeah.
So are we
Four?
going to use the 4 big blind size or the 6 big blind size?
Paired board, so 4, but also our jacks will need some protection, but I think we mainly build the range around the deuce.
Yep.
We don't raise that many jacks, like, I don't know if we're raising jack 10, we still might. Yeah, we still might.
Yep.
Alright, so we go big.
It is. And probably our jacks need protection here is the idea. Let's
Yeah,
take a look at this range. We're also going to have nut advantage here, right? Just more deuces in our range.
that makes sense too.
So yeah, we can see primarily using the big sizing and check raising. Yeah. Al's like, I'm check raising every time I get here. He's like 60% of range, but only 27% of range gets to check raise here. And so what are we doing it with very logically? All of our deuces for value, our best jacks And we protect our range with our bottom jacks, both the suited and the unsuited variety, which gives us range coverage on a pretty wide range of turn cards, where we can turn 2 pair. We are bluffing all suited queens with backdoors. We are bluffing all suited kings with backdoors. A little bit of these cards wrapping around the jack. So a little bit of king queen, a little bit of king 10, king 9, queen 9, queen 10, right? Even the clubs get into the party with the wrap around this. So on this type of a board where we have a ton of check raises with value, we get to find a ton of check raises with bluffs. And so we're looking for an over, a backdoor flush, and last but not least, some straight connection. So you can see a little bit of the 5-4, 5-3, and ace-3 fits it just fine into that category. So we'll give us the appropriate size. And our opponent just folds out a much worse hand and just easy fold for us. All right, ace-8 suited, easy call. Yeah. Dangler. Got it, Dean. All right, jack 5-5. Gonna be a check board. Disrespectful size. Is this too strong to check raise?
Yeah, I would just call.
I agree.
Fair price.
Yeah, I think this is just a pretty easy call. I don't think I think we're at the point where we don't get a better ace to fold by check raising very often. Because it's gonna have too much connection around the jack. So, and we don't have straight interaction with the wheel. So I think this is just gonna be a very easy call. Backdoor, we're gonna want to see if we can turn the flush. 3. Is this a card we're gonna lead on?
No,
Okay. Not yet. Check, check. Flush completes. We have ace high. Are we going to take this to showdown, or are we going to try and make our opponent fold some better stuff?
I would just check here all day.
I wonder if we get some blockers here. Maybe not with the flush completing.
Yeah, a block bet.
Yeah, like 3.
Okay. I think
I
I
think
am.
we're blocking here a ton, but I don't think this hand does that. I think it's just a check.
Yeah. This one just has enough showdown power to hang on, show off sixes. Okay.
And I see my opponents doing weird things like bluffing ace 10 there, and I don't really get it.
Well, they just don't really know what to do.
Yeah,
Wonder if we got an overbet ace X suited, maybe. Maybe. Take a look for that. See if we have any overbets on that river.
When the flush completes, I don't think so.
Turn goes
I
check,
think-
check, right? So we're gonna have some big sizing.
I think we're just betting small, like 70% of the time.
bet small.
After the turn goes check, check, it is a lot of
Bet big.
this size,
Oh, yep.
but a little bit of 82. And I mean, a tiny bit of 13, like, yeah, just aces, kings, queens, right? They missed the bet on the turn, right? And then,
This is the cutoff strategy.
oh, yeah, sorry, our strategy here.
Ah,
Ooh, there is a fair amount of big betting here.
Skittles board.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all over the place. This is half checking and then smattering shotgun splatter of everything else. So yeah, the overbets. We have a bunch of fives that are overbetting. So, and then we're gonna have some flushes that are overbetting.
King, queen. Oh, just
Yeah.
spades.
It's just spades. And then the king of spades is gonna bluff this size. Right? And the queen of spades is gonna bluff this size as well. And the 10 of spades is gonna bluff this size as well. So yeah, a single spade allows you to bluff here pretty big. Right? Because you have lots of fives that protect you, so. King 9, police dog. All right, let's check it out. Facing the medium size bets. On
I
a
think we still get check raises with the
okay.
front door and the back door, but I don't know the appropriate size. Um,
10
I would
board
say
is
10.
this one. Yeah, the range is going to want to use this size a lot. Does this specific hand want to use this size a lot?
I'm pure calling this combo.
I think I'll call also.
Yeah. Are we good? So are you looking to raise worse flushes?
Yeah, so like king 3 of spades, king 4 of spades, king 2 of spades, I'd rather raise.
Okay. All right, let's take a peek. I'm sure it'll raise some frequency here. Nope, pure call. And we'll take a quick peek.
Do we get check raises to a smaller sizing?
We could explore that. So there is a little bit of check raising, and it is using the smaller size here. It is raising with its best tens for value. And then
The flush draws below a 5.
combo draw. Yeah.
Those high lows. And like queen, king, ace, yeah.
Yeah. All of these high lows here. And then on the top end of it as well. Right? So, but not king 9. King 9's too good. King 7 with the straight equity. Right? Wants to check raise. Okay. Flush completes with a low card.
We will have leads here.
Okay. How frequently are you leading? 30% of the time? And
The
is
range or this hand?
The range.
Yeah, probably about 30-35%.
So we're gonna want to lead with a lot of hands that have a 3 or a 4 in them, right? We have a fair amount of those.
I think it's more stuff with the spade than stuff with the 3 or 4.
Okay, like the queen 3, the queen 4, right? This one's just gonna check. We're gonna explore that idea here just a bit.
Like jack 9 with the jack of spades. I'm leading. Oh, we don't have it in range.
So no, I'm surprised. I thought there would be some
Whoa.
leading here too.
That's shocking.
So I guess it's because there's 3 low spades, we still unblock all of their top end spades. Right? If we change this to like a 9, a jack of spades, right? We're gonna, well, no, jack's gonna be too good for their range.
What if he bet smaller on the flop, if he didn't polarize?
If he bets smaller, standard, and we just call. Call. And we put up, was it the 3 of spades?
2 of spades.
2 of spades. 3 of spades, a little bit of leading now.
It's still very insignificant. Interesting.
Oh, it's disconnected too. It's not good enough. right? When we saw the 3, the closer it gets to connecting the straight, the more we
Yeah.
have a leading. Again, the straight becomes the leading element. So if we change this to the 7 of spades, now we're going crazy. So it's just the deuce is too disconnected.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, we face this nice bet. Are we ready to click it? Or do we want to keep our opponent wide?
I think it's probably a mixed strategy. You probably
I
do either.
agree.
Keep calling.
What frequency is the mix though? Oh,
Never mind.
It is a little bit of olive and a whole lot of cranberry juice.
that's how I
But-
make my mixed drinks. The call is how much like Coke it is, and then the raise is how much Jack Daniels it is.
Maybe king, jack, we call again, king, queen, king, jack. And then.
Yeah.
Maybe
Eight,
king
nine.
10 we also would call.
Ooh, kept him on the line. He triple barreled off with big spade. Very
I
nice.
I like his bluff. It's a computer, but
Yeah,
it
so
makes, it's one of the best bluff combos.
does population give up on this river too often?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Yeah.
Fast playing makes more sense against population probably.
Yeah, so clicking that turn is going to be much more high equity. When you don't click that turn, you're not going to get this river bet often enough, right? Opponent's going to shut down with the 10 sometimes, right? So sometimes they're just going to show you pocket queens here and be like, well, you could have had the straight. Okay.
Unless you play me, always just check call when you play me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Nick is literally a solver, and if he knows you're
I'll
good,
make
he's gonna
donations.
Yeah, so it's all right. All right, this is gonna be a pretty fast play. $54. Oh boy, look at that gutter just waiting to be check raised.
Mm-hmm.
All right, disrespectful size and all. Here we go. How big?
6.
Eight. Ace 10
Yeah.
board.
God, yeah.
Yeah. 2 Broadway board. You got to check raise big.
We just have so few value hands.
Well, let's take a look. Because I
We
mean,
have few
500
bluffs too. We're not really gonna check raise the Broadway gutters, right?
No, I think they're calling.
Yeah,
So
so
here's
we have
our
to pull from some of this stuff.
So all this shenanigans. It just check raises the bottom pair here too.
What is this Jack 5, Queen 5, Queen 4 stuff?
This is
The
all the
double backdoor straight,
That's fucking,
backdoor
yeah,
flush.
I don't find that. That's gross.
double backdoor straight, backdoor flush. So that means for people who are not totally aware, this one contains elements that can turn a king and a jack to make the queen into a straight, and can turn a 3 and a 4 and to make the wheel a straight, and has the backdoor flush element of spades, hearts, and diamonds. And so the queen 5 of diamonds is the super unicorn bluff here, right? And you can see it's pretty thin on EV, but if you find this, you are playing like a solver, and you are going to be incredibly difficult to play against if you're finding these bluffs.
Yeah, it's cool to see.
And that's why we show up on Monday nights. Let's go find those bluffs. All right.
Oh, we 3-bet this some.
Yeah, very frequently. This Dean had this earlier. He was showing us in chat, Jack 7 suited. Let's go. Ace 5 3. All right. Just to give up.
Yeah.
Don't defend against ace high boards very well. Get to fold over 50%. get bluffed out of the hands with better stuff. It's
Oh,
fine.
3-bet this is a very low frequency.
Yep. But we're gonna set up that. Oh, just jam it.
It rips some.
Yeah, savage animal.
Man,
Never finding that. Okay. Oh, king, queen holding the ace of spades and bottom pair. My fingers are getting itchy. Oh, this disrespectful size. I want to click it so bad.
so yeah, I
Is
think
it
that
too
we
good?
just have so many draws to check raise with that we're not gonna pull from bottom pair here. If this was a little bit disconnected, I think it makes a good combo, but there's straight draws, there's flush draws, there's just so much, so many bluffs we can check raise here.
Yeah, maybe we can wait to check raise to the turn, right? If a spade rolls off too. So, oh, the combo draw.
We will have leads here, I think. I was wrong last time, but
Let's take a peek. Is anything in range leading?
I feel like you're gonna be wrong again, Mr. Nick.
it is 3 Broadway, so I could be, but yeah,
Uh,
very, very low.
Sets of fours and king queen, and then a little bit of the bluff here containing the spade. So just not the combo that we have. So yeah, the right idea. The ace of spades does want to lead here a little bit.
Yeah, it's range check.
It's a range check, 98%. But Nick the solver does find the ace of spades lead here occasionally.
I'm leading too much when the draw's complete, I guess.
Okay, so we have a bit of showdown. We block some value. Is
You
this
can have
just
draws too, Nick, like,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. It's gotta be like a card that swings range advantage in our favor, kind of.
But like, generally when the flush completes, it is better for the out of position player because the in position is c-betting their range advantage a lot of the time, so. My understanding was that a lot of the time when the flush draw specifically completes, you're gonna do a lot of leading on these boards, but
okay,
I
so
need to revisit this.
let's take
Yeah,
a peek at
we'll
this a
file it
little
away.
bit here. So this spot, let's take a look at these ranges. And we can see that we are clearly behind all the way throughout, right? We're losing 58 to 41. The turn, the equity does swing, right? The lines cross over now. The flush completing is particularly good for us. At the bottom range, we are a big favorite, but our opponent still has a lot of hands throughout the top half of the graph that they are ahead of us with. So they still have the best hands. We now have lots more good hands, right? And they still have all their trash, and we've cleaned up a bunch of our trash on the flush draw board. So it's a spot where the equity shifts, but we're still too far behind the nuts to lead.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna note this down to revisit this.
Yeah. Could do some more work on that later. All right. This river, I mean, do we have anything but do we have a check jam here for the
Yeah, that's
dirtiest
actually
of
my plan. I'm check
bluffs?
jamming here a lot.
I was thinking that myself.
I like it.
Okay, we just lose to a jack. But yeah, if we check jam this, like if he gets out of line with that jack, there's no coming back. All right. Queen 8. Ooh, queen 8 off. Gross. Let's go. Monotone board. You should check back the ace high monotone board at some frequency. I think this is just a pretty easy give up. $84 suited. Heck. Ooh, against this super small size, does anyone want to continue here, or can I convince everyone to get in the knit boat?
I'm in the boat.
I'm in the boat.
Boat.
Big boat.
All right, everyone's in the boat. It's pretty easy give up. We just don't defend ace high boards very well, so we are going to fold these back doors. So one thing to note, on ace and king high boards, back doors struggle to continue. Right, on a queen high board, we're going to get a little frisky there. All right. 99. Uh-oh. Does this ever flat?
No.
Yeah. Always 3-bet. And it can just jam, right? So 10s, 9s, ace, queen. There's a little bit of that type of stuff. All right, we'll throw in one 3-bet. Oh, we'll throw in one 3-bet punt tonight.
This is a call. It sucks, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it is a call. We just lose to queens. All right, queen 3. Okay, get out. 7s. Uh-oh. Do we call this ever, or is this just a punt as well?
I think it's a 3-bet.
Sevens could call, right?
It's starting to get down there, right? We're going to enter the territory where there is some non-3 betting. But against the cutoff, I mean, I don't know. We'll see if it's in there. Okay, we found the unicorn, right? Like this should be a 3-bet all day. But as you start to get lower and lower in range, it'll start to mix in a little bit of this type of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, call because we're fine. We found the sliver.
Ah, sixes, okay.
Yeah. Sliver on 7s. So this is good. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if we would even have this combo, but oh, all right. King low. If we were going to check raise, we
I think
would
this is a-
want this size.
Yeah.
I think you
this is a
can raise
call,
this.
pretty pure.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly a call, but at like low frequency raise.
I would just always call.
Yeah. On a rainbow board. So what are your check raise bluffs going to be on this rainbow not so straighty board?
Like 4-5 of hearts, 4-5 of diamonds, 4-5 spades.
Yeah,
Okay.
gutters and ace wheel and 5-7.
Jack 5 of
of-
hearts.
Ah, Jack 5.
5-7 of diamonds.
Let's take a peek. So
4-7.
Jack 5 of hearts, Nick finds it. But all of this window of stuff, right? Things between the 2 and the 6, right? And pretty much everything in there is going to find some elements of raise. The wheels are in there. This is in there. So yeah, we have lots of kings that we get to check raise, but we will notice like a lot of kings are just calling here. We are protecting our calling range a lot. Because we want to call with a lot of 6s and a lot of deuces, and we have a lot of them. So because of that, we do not get to check raise our kings very liberally. So as we saw, 7s are unfortunately just a crawl check. He should double barrel that card a lot. We're going to be put in the box. Okay. Easy game.
Feels like a spot for a blocker bet.
It's that thin value. Like, if we get raised, is our plan to fold that?
I think we fold to a shove for sure.
Well, if we bet 1, like he could bet 10. Right?
I mean, I don't know against solver, against population, I think you would fold.
I'm always block betting here.
Okay.
We might even be able to bet 3.
So when when our opponent turns a jack, they could check because we have, they've pruned us. We have more kings now in our range, right?
Yeah. But they
So
also have a lot of six X and deuce X, right?
Mhm.
Well, not that many deuce X, but
okay, well, it's just going for
Yeah.
value.
3 is,
It's not
Three
even
and
blocking,
seven.
it's just pure value.
Yeah,
but 7 I would never find.
Yeah, I don't find it. I go like 3.
well, you have pocket sevens. You got to bet seven sometimes.
You gotta
Right.
bet 7.
To tell.
Call it
Even
the
the solver knows.
Yeah. This is why,
Hey,
because
we
they're gonna
could've
call
got
with a 6
max.
for the sizing.
Yeah,
Do you
call
think
it
they'll
the
call
Las
7 with
Vegas.
a 6? They might.
Let's take a look. Call it the
I guess
Las
they
Vegas
should.
slot machine. Yeah,
Yeah. 777.
777. Okay, so if we take the big sizing and we go with a 7, they are
Yeah, that's pretty thin.
still calling with a 6. Still calling with the deuce. Yeah. Yeah, ace 6, pure call. So yeah, you can get some big value here. But yeah, like the problem is like, yeah, they're just they also have a lot of jacks in range here, so still so. Let's take a look at range height. So yeah, they have a bunch of small jacks that are still in range height here. So we do have to be a little careful here. But they also have lots of sixes, so it is a spot to get good value. And probably easy folds. Okay. Jack 8 deuce rainbow. So Jack and 8 connected. Gonna want to drive up that size. Is this a combo we want to check raise or give up? No call options.
Fold.
There we go.
Give up.
Give up. Just not enough connection. A little bit of click. All right, paired board. Is this wraps around the 10 enough, or is this too wide?
I think you can raise.
Okay,
I think big.
5-9 or 4?
I would imagine 5-9.
5-9.
5-9. If you're gonna check raise these 10 and 9 high boards, it's got to be big. But yeah, it's just calling, wrapping around a little bit too. But finding the check raise is definitely going to be good for us. Our opponent continues.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, we pick up equity.
Well, then we gotta
Story.
continue, right? So we go like a B55.
I mean, Jack calls. If he has a 10, he's not happy to see this Jack and seeing us barrel.
Yeah, I'm almost always betting 10 with this combo.
Yep.
We have the king of hearts too, blocking the backdoor flush draw continues.
Is this a give up, or are we going for the last half pot bet?
So what folds to a shove? 10 fold, no jack does.
Jack's not going to fold to a shove. I mean,
Tens might fold.
I think we need to not have a heart to shove here.
yeah, hearts are going to be a lot of his continues. The king of hearts is probably really bad.
So if we had like king 9 of clubs, I like a jam, but with this combo, I'm just giving up.
Okay. And maybe a king is bad in general, right? He's going to continue with some king queen and some ace queen and stuff like that and stuff. So, yeah, the jig is up.
Mm.
Alright. Look at that river bluff. Figures he can't win, needs to shove.
With the queen of hearts too.
Yeah. With a bad blocker. But I mean, like, it gets check raised, turns open ended with 2 overs. I mean, I don't know. I don't think population's gonna get there very often. Oh. Okay. Check. Two Broadway board, all kinds of draws out there.
I think this is
Um,
probably a give up.
is this a stab once and then done? Nope. Just a check back. Okay, clearly a give up then. 10-6. Okay. Checks back, picks up equity, starts building a pot. Pretty reasonable.
That message scared me. I'm like, what logged out?
What logged out? Let's go. Out. All right. Oh,
20% check raise or 3-bet.
yep. Yeah, not everyone's finding it, but ace 5. Oh, look at this sizing. I mean,
I don't think on this paired ace board that we get many check raises.
well, they're gonna be small if we do. But I don't know if this hand's gonna continue with just the 10 of spades.
No, we need to have a straight draw with it.
Yeah. So like 10 jack gets in, 10-9 gets out.
6-7-0, 7-8-0.
Oh, 10-9 to 10-9. All right. Clickies. King 6-4. Ooh, all right. Is this check raise and a fold sometimes?
Call or if you
Um,
want to check raise, go to 5.3.
yeah, I think we could use this.
Okay.
I pure fold.
Yeah, I'm mixing
I don't
between these
think we
two.
have
I
enough.
think, yeah, I don't think the 8 of spades is quite high enough, and I don't think the 8-9 is quite connected enough.
Eh, alright.
So we
Yeah.
haven't had any check raises for value yet, have we?
Not a whole heck of a lot, but that's the nature of being the big blind, is you're just gonna have a lot of garbage.
Just like how I play in real life.
You're always in the big blind.
What a nightmare would that be?
You have to defend the big blind from here to eternity.
That's
So
my
when I look at
version of
this flop,
hell.
I think this is highly contested. He's got a lot of his flop. He's two. And
Sure.
we've got marginal value. I think this is largely a call.
I like call.
Yeah, I think 100% call here.
I agree.
I
Oh
think this
boy.
is now changed to 100% check raise.
I agree. We might have slivers of call,
Good
but
bite.
very, very high frequency check raise. Depends on our size too. If he overbets, we pure call, but we're
Okay.
raising the size.
10
So
or 14.
there is a flopped straight here, which might make us behave, but I would be very inclined to get it in before the board gets worse.
Yeah, I would
So
go
only
like a
has
merge.
he only has
I like
10-8
it.
suited, right? He doesn't have 10 at all.
I'd go
Um,
emergy sizing in
yeah.
game, so I think the solver's gonna mix, but mostly use this 10 sizing.
Yeah,
Nope.
like 14. 10's just not big enough for what we need.
Yeah, I'd go like 12 in game.
Yeah, I think I'll go 12 in the game as well.
You can see the difference here in EV is pretty significant, right? This hand is best, but fears the river 10, queen, 8, heart. So out of position, it's just going to have a hard time betting this river.
This might be a range jam spot is what I was gonna say.
Yeah. It does just jam it here. It just doesn't care what your opponent has.
How
7.
frequently are we jamming here? Like, to me, I would guess it's like 70 to 80% of the time, just based off the nature of the board, but I don't know.
With our hand or our
No, with
range?
range.
I don't know. We're still going to be pretty wide here.
35%.
35.
35. But
There's
it's big betting the other parts, right? Like
always
functionally.
betting. Zero
Yeah.
checks.
Can you go to filters real quick and see what part of our range does what sizing?
Sure.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
So,
So our nuts are mixing. And
Yeah.
our air is always shoving.
No made hand. King hand.
yeah. Yeah, our third pair is what mixes. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we have a 10 here, we bet small and give up, which is protected by all of our nuts. Right? And then we have a few draws or a few no made hands. No, they're all betting. They're all betting.
Why 2 per 0%? What's the
2 pair, top pair.
top pair? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, just ace 4.
2 per, yeah, cross eye. 2
Yeah,
pairs,
everything else
fine.
is like 2 pair straight for us, right? So we only have one combo of top pair left.
Mhm.
So yeah. Ace 5, click it. All right, let's do one more. 972. Ooh, a nice texture for us, but not with this hand.
With that size.
What a savage animal. Queen 4 finds a pot bet. 80% pot. Not 3 betting that enough. Oh, I sense trouble.
So I'd imagine, so we often go big on these paired boards, right?
So when we took a look at them, the paired boards did have some big sizing. I'm not sure that the 9 is going to be because our opponent is going to have offsuit 9s in their range.
Yeah, good point.
So I don't think this is going to be a board that we're going to check raise as much. But I mean, if we are going to check raise it, I think this is a pretty logical hand to do it with.
Yeah, I like check raising.
Yeah, like the nature of how frequently they have a 9 drives down our check raise size and brings in some calls even with a hand like this. So, yeah. Oh, pick up equity, double block continues.
And it's a double flush draw
I
board,
think
so
we
yeah, I
wanna
imagine we
check.
polarize here.
How
I
often do we
wouldn't be
check here?
surprised if it's B83. That creates a very awkward SPR on river, so maybe it's B55.
I don't think we check here much.
I check jam here, maybe like 20% of the time.
Okay.
What
With
are you
this,
wanting him to bet fold?
with this specific combo. Um, any spades? I don't, random stuff that didn't improve, 10, king. With a spade. I don't know, just range balance
Seems a little
perspective.
fancy.
So I think
So
it's low
this is your
frequency.
unicorn check, a double check raise board.
I mean,
There's-
this is like my one bluff I have for it, I think. I think it's mostly a barrel.
I'm gonna be 55, I think.
Yeah, so the paired board is going to kind of drive down the sizing to 55. Like I can get behind it. There's a lot of hands that want to get this value, but like trip nines are pretty resilient. And if you bet this, you're just going to price the flush draws out. So I think a 9 is going to want to take this sizing. So I think that's
Yeah, good
probably
point.
what we're going to do. Yeah. Yeah, and it even goes smaller, right? Like it's pretty dangerous for a flush draw to call here.
Yeah.
But to next thing, we will quickly check and see if there is some check jam on that turn line. Check. And then our opponents. Oh, sorry. Check. And our opponent over here. Yeah, they've got lots of 1/3 pot sizing. So is 10 jack off a check jam? It is a check raise, not a check jam. The suited varieties are check jam.
The double check raise, non all in. Okay.
Oh, savage. Yeah. Yeah.
How's it? Can you, yeah, I just wanna see the heart and spade combos. So first diamond club, which is interesting to me. Guess that makes sense. You're
Yeah.
unblocking both flush draws, which is kind of what you're targeting.
Yeah. And then if we do the check raise to 15, does it make flush draws fold?
No, but we can bluff brick rivers.
I think you're just jamming all rivers.
Yeah, like he just continues with every flush card.
I mean, you do get all the offsuit branch to fold. Ace, king,
Yeah.
through queen ten off is
He'll,
folding.
yeah, like the single,
All the
exactly.
singles, all the single spadies,
All
all
the
the
single
single
ladies.
spadies.
All the single
the spades.
spadies.
Okay. That was pretty funny. That was too funny for this
That
hour.
was
Okay.
my favorite thing.
That was
All
Ever.
single spade. All right.
I'm
Uh,
all in, always.
Always all in. Yeah. We're not really afraid of the ace. Pocket kings lays down on the river.
I would
Alright.
fold kings too. I'd be so mad and I would fold kings.
Yeah, someone's just on the ace I flush draw and made an ace, right? So yeah. All right. Well, that was pretty good with the making kings fold and calling all the single spadies to the party. So great session, guys, and we'll see you next week.